Hello everybody, my name is Will from You Know Nothing and welcome to my first ever Game of Thrones theory video. And it's a big one. So if you're finding my channel through this video, please consider subscribing, check out some of my other videos. I know it's near the end of the Game of Thrones season, but hopefully I have more theory stuff, more book stuff, all that kind of good stuff to do with the universe of Game of Thrones, and I'd appreciate it if you could show your support. Right, onto the theory. So in Season 7, the past season that we've all been watching and loving of Game of Thrones, we've seen more of the Night King than ever before, but who actually is he? So we don't really know that much about the Night King or the others or the White Walkers. We don't really know what they want. The only thing we really know is how he was created in the first place. However, in the Song of Ice and Fire books, there isn't actually a leader so far that we know of the others. So the White Walkers in the books are basically almost always referred to as the others. But I'd say he's a very, very, very good character for the TV show. So before we go on to theorise who he actually is, let's just quickly go over how he was created. So before he became the very first White Walker, the Night King was one of the first men that was captured by the Children of the Forest long time ago. Leaf, one of the Children of the Forest who actually see in the TV programme, pierced a dragonglass dagger into his chest, causing his eyes to turn blue and turning him into the first of the White Walkers. So another little side tangent that I'm going to go off on just for a little bit is some of the symbols that we've seen a lot more recently in some of the episodes in the cave, and this symbol, the spiral-like symbol, was also at the Weirwood Tree where the first White Walker, the Night King as we know him today, was created. So there's also this symbol that's a circle with a line through it, which mathematically is called Phi, and the spiral is called the Golden Spiral. So the mathematical symbol's basically about balance. So like the Song of Ice and Fire, they balance each other out. The whole show is kind of a balance. There's a good video that I watched by Screen Prism, so I'll link that in the description down below, that goes a little bit further into the symbols and kind of what they mean. So the first theory that we're going to talk about is the Night's King. Now, not the Night King, the Night's King with an S. They're slightly different, okay? So the Night's King was the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and he was the Lord Commander during the Long Night. So according to legend, he lived during the Age of Heroes, not long after the war was complete. However, the only name that we have of him is the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. The legend says that he fell in love with a woman with skin as white as the moon and eyes like blue stars. Now if that doesn't sound like a White Walker, I don't know what does. And when he gave his seed to her, aka a little bit of rumpy bumpy, he gave his soul to her as well, and in turn became a White Walker himself, and became the Night King. It's said that the 13th Lord Commander brought this woman back to the Night Fort, which is a castle where the Night's Watch were at the time, and he basically declared himself the king and her the queen, and they ruled at the Night Fort, his own castle, for 13 years. I mean, there's something to do with the number 13 here that doesn't add up. So it was discovered that this 13th Lord Commander was making sacrifices to the others, just as Craster was doing in the TV show. However, the 13th Lord Commander, aka the Night's King, with an S, had his comeuppance when Brandon the Breaker formed an alliance with the King of the Wildlings at the time, who's called Joramund, and they sieged the castle and took him down. But could he have escaped north of the Wall to become the Night King that we know today? So we know this from some of Old Nan's stories in the books. So Old Nan, everyone says that she was crazy, but it's said that after Brandon the Breaker won this battle, he got rid of any evidence of the 13th Lord Commander, including his name, and it was forbidden to speak of his name to this day. So there's only really two reasons why he would do that. One, because he was an absolutely awful person and no one should ever think or do things that he did ever again. Or two, this 13th Lord Commander was actually a relative of Brandon the Breaker, who was a Stark. So the next theory is about a character that we know very well from the TV show, about Bran Stark. So as we all know, Bran now has powers of the Three-Eyed Raven, and he can go back in time while still being in present time. For example, the Tower of Joy scenes, when he says something and Ned Stark kind of like looks behind him as if he can tell that Bran is there. Or even the Hodor scene, where Hodor's holding the door where he got his name, so Bran kind of interjected with something from the past while he was still in the present, proves that he can kind of be in the past and the present, possibly even the future, at the same time. So there's a good quote when Bran's kind of first learning about his Greenseer ability. "Stay too long and you drown." So the theory is that Bran may go back in time to stop the Children of Forest from ever making a White Walker in the first place. So he either walks into the First Man and then becomes the Night King himself, or kind of goes there and tries to explain to them that, no, you need to stop, don't put a dagger through his heart, you imbeciles. And the Children of the Forest are like, this guy's crazy, he's from the future apparently, we're not listening to him, we're going to do it anyway. And Bran gets too deep into the past, he stays there for too long, slowly loses who he is, and becomes the Night King that we know today. Some cinematography that they used in the show kind of hints that he's also the Night King in this scene where he has a flashback to see how the Night King was made in the first place. When the First Man is tied up against the tree, he kind of winces, he clenches his fists as the rope tightens around his wrists, and then it pans to Bran lying on the floor, also in the same position, clenching his fists, kind of symbolising that that is him. In the TV show, when Bran asks what were they trying to protect themselves from, Leaf from the Children of the Forest actually responds with,
"From you. From men."
Now, does she mean that as from the men, the First Men, or does she literally mean from you, Bran? Although she probably would say something, I would guess, if she knew that Bran was the Night King. So then Bran, aka the Night King, is trapped in this new body, this new White Walker body, for thousands and thousands of years, until the Bran Stark that we know today, son of Catelyn and Ned, is born. Now, with Bran going back in time and stuff as well, there's also a couple of other theories, such as Bran is also some of the other Brans, like Bran the Builder, who helped keep the wall to keep the Night King out, Bran the Breaker. So there's theories that he kind of tries to keep stopping the Night King, but keep kind of failing going back in time. So Bran's just a huge mess up at this point. And also the Mad King, there's a theory that Bran went back in time and whispered in the Mad King's ear, telling him to get the wildfire ready, so that if the Night King comes, he can use the wildfire to take him out. And then the Mad King kind of goes crazy with the voices that he keeps hearing in his brain. He keeps thinking he's schizophrenic, and he kind of misinterprets what Bran's trying to say and tries to burn down the whole capital instead. So, well done, Bran. But like I said, if they do introduce a Night King character into the books, the Night King could be completely different to the Night King that we see in the TV show. Something else that kind of supports this theory is that whenever Bran is walking near the Night King, he can sense that he is there. Now that's either because the Night King also has some really, really powerful Green Seer ability, or because he is Bran, so he knows where he's going to be. Now, spoilers for the latest episode of Game of Thrones, if you've not seen it already, Season 7, Episode 6. The Night King comes armed with 3 spears for Daenerys' dragons. He knows that Daenerys is going to come. How does he know that Daenerys is going to come? Because Bran knows that Daenerys is going to come. So the Night King also knows. It's just a theory, but I think it's quite a good theory. But anyway, dudes, if you did enjoy this theory or this video, if you've learned anything from it, let me know by telling me in the comments. Let me know what you think of this theory, or if you think it could be someone else. If there's another theory, definitely let me know. Subscribe to my channel for more theories, Game of Thrones previews, reviews, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you all on my next video.